got him right here. Hold my phone. What's up? Let's talk now.
AJ.
We ain't finna fucking do all that.
Hey.
In my mind, I'm like, you know what, bitch? You gotta hit her first. Wanna do it? We ain't doing no talking, babe. We not doing no fucking talking, babe.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Tushay, and I'm so happy to be your host once again. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a Can We Talk About version of Baddies South with the team name Into the Thick of It. If this is something you're very much interested in, please go ahead to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And yeah, let's dive right in. So can we talk about Gotha's performance? Yeah, I know in my previous video I said Gotha refused to perform. Well, that was because I didn't know he was still going to come back out, thanks to Yodeler, the help of Yodeler and the crowd. Obviously Yodeler came on stage and tried to like motivate Gotha back on stage, and yeah, that worked. So Gotha definitely performed, and yeah, I had to say that his song was freaking amazing.
Walk.
So like Gotha really nailed it song wise. I don't think he really did any much, like he didn't perform per se, but like yeah, I guess he was basically, I would say, would I say introducing his song, because like that's my first time of hearing that, but like yeah, he basically just did one of his songs, and yeah, I have to say the song was freaking amazing. Okay, so I'm not trying to come out as a body shamer. I don't do that. I am always all about positivity and encouraging people regardless of their shape, size, color, etc. But there's something that I saw that I just can't hold in, and of course it has to do with Slim. Yeah, I've always known that Slim got her very popular name from One More Chance. Slim was given her name, or she was given the name Slim by Chance Givens in the show One More Chance, right? And it made sense then because she was slim, right? But like in this particular clip, I don't know if it's me or there's a whole difference between the Slim of One More Chance and the Slim of Baddies South pertaining to size or pertaining to body, because Slim was looking slimmer than Slim. Like her Slim was so slim that I could literally see her skeletal frame. And this is, like I said, this is not in any way to like mock her features or mock her body or mock her physique, but like let's just take it as more like a call out, like, because I don't know if Slim is okay, honestly, because like when I saw her in that video, she was really looking like too slim, the slimness was so abnormal. Like I said, we could literally see her skeletal frame, and I had to say that was a little bit disturbing for me. So can we talk about Castor lighting up Anthony's stage? Yes, Castor was amongst the performance for Anthony's bash night, and I had to say that performance from Castor was everything. Like she brought fire.
In and out of everybody. Never trust, don't take a bitch. All these niggas kind of fake.
Like, I mean, but Anthony's bash was already on like level 100, but like Castor's performance took it to like level 1000. I'm telling you. And I was like, yay! So like, that was like a freaking moment. I cannot have been the only person to have seen this. But like, did anyone else see Nally and Persuasion kiss? I'm sure you guys saw it too. Like, I was like, okay. Like, I was like, okay. I mean, I know that these girls are wild. I know that, they are wild enough to like do things like that. But like, I never was expecting, Nally and Persuasion to share a kiss. And I had to say that kiss did not happen just once, but twice. I was like, Okay. So like, it was something shocking for me to see, because like I said, I mean, I would have expected someone like Scotty kissing up on someone else, like probably Anne or even Jayla, but like Nally and Persuasion. Okay, should I be bothered about whether or not they have like relations behind closed doors, or it's none of my business? Okay, none of my business. Let's keep it moving. Anthony's birthday bash finally came to, I wouldn't say it came to an end, because that party was definitely still going. But the baddies were finally ready to leave, and they got into their baddies bus, and that was when Nally felt the need to invite some of their fans into the bus, because some of their fans were out there screaming that they wanted to get into the bus. And Nally was like, okay, I'm just gonna pick like a few fans to like come into the bus. Now, yes, obviously these fans came in, and I have to say some persons were a little bit unhappy about that decision, Nally's decision, allowing strangers basically yeah, they're fans, but like obviously still strangers, but like people to come into the bus. Now, according to Rolly was a little bit displeased with that decision, because the bus became overcrowded, and according to her, people were even stepping on her toes and all of that, and that she was really, really uncomfortable with the whole situation. Now, in my opinion, I would say, if I was one of the girls, I don't think I would really find it, appeasing to have like, yes, they are fans, right? But like at the same time, these are like strangers as well. These are people that you don't know where from, you don't know, their level of, let me even start from cleanliness and all of that. Maybe I'm even going too far, but basically for me, I know that going to the club or going to even a social gathering is almost the same thing as inviting these people into the baddies bus. But like, that is when you are making that decision for yourself. So now you're done with the whole party and you're ready to like crash for the night, or you're ready to like just call it a night, and then the party is brought to you again without your consent, right? Especially when it's a space that is supposed to be like your personal space. I feel like that was a little bit, for me, that would have been also displeasing, because I'm done partying. Hello, let's just go home. Like, I'm over. It's not even like as if it's a public space. Like, this is our personal space. This is like an alternative abode, right? As far as I'm concerned. So like, having strangers come on there, sweats and all of that. Remember that this same space is the space that these girls sleep in, especially when they are going on their long trips and all of that. So like, that whole, like, nah. For me, it was a definite no. Rolly as well was not happy about that whole situation. But yeah, let me know in the comment section if I and Rolly are just, antisocial. Can we talk about how drunk Persuasion was? Because like, I feel like she was so drunk that she was kissing people. Like, the whole kissing thing, it was Nally. It was not just Nally, Biggie from One More Chance. Like, I was like, girl, hello, what's up? Like, come on. You're exchanging, saliva with persons that, well, I don't know, but like, that was too much for me from Persuasion. Like, girl, calm down. Calm down. like, calm down. Can we talk about Sydney Star? Like, seriously, I'm so tired of Sydney Star bumping into the baddies and trying to like just wreck their shows. Like, it's so obvious at this point that she is now like an official stalker. So apparently Sydney Star still met up with these ladies at Anthony's bash, and yes, I mentioned this in my previous video, but that's not where she stopped. As at the point where these ladies were about leaving, Sydney Star still came to them, shouting, saying all sort of stuff, calling out Nally's name, And you know, because of that particular reason, the Nally came out to like see what's up with Sydney, right? And you know, that was when like a mini like tussle happened between Sydney and Persuasion, right? So apparently Sydney called out Nally, saying that, you know, Nally did her dirty, that, you know, she had been on calls, long hours on the call with Nally about, you know, the new season, which is Baddies South. And like Nally was like, you know, trying to like, Nally actually was like, you know, using a level-headed tone to speak with her, but like, you know, Sydney Star kept, you know, screaming Nally's name. At that point, I was like, I'm so surprised and shocked that Nally hasn't, you know, thrown a punch at her. Like, because I was like, this girl right here has not just, you know, embarrassed you guys, but has been like, you know, like a very, very dark shadow following you people and, you know, wrecking your appearances. So like, especially even at that particular point when, you know, Nally was even nice enough to like have a conversation with her, Sydney kept being too loud and disrespectful. In fact, I think when Nally was even coming down at the bus, I saw Sydney give her phone, because Sydney obviously was like, okay, Liel, Nally, let's talk. And I saw Sydney give her phone to someone to hold, and I'm like, what do you think you're about to do? What do you even think you can do? Because even when she had a tussle with Persuasion, yes, I know the first time she was caught off guard by Persuasion, but even the second time when, you know, it was like fair game, like, okay, now you know what's about to happen. Like, she was still thrown to the ground. Sydney doesn't know how to. I don't think Sydney knows how to fight. In fact, because she was clumsy AF. Persuasion, if you ask me, they didn't even do that much pertaining to like, you know, exchanging hands, because, you know, Persuasion, yeah, she's okay, but like, she's not a fighter, let's be honest. So like, for Persuasion to still, you know, knock you to the ground, like, so like, you can't even fight, and then you're pursuing these girls or chasing after these girls looking for trouble. Like, what's your problem though? So like, honestly, Sydney is a very, very stale topic. Like, I really don't like to talk about her, but it's so unfortunate that, you know, that she keeps popping up or she keeps appearing where she's not invited. And to be honest, it's everything she said that night basically interpreted into, you know, her being obsessed with the whole, you know, Baddies show. Like, I'm like, what the hell, bro? Like, don't you have a life? So honestly, I really don't know what's up with Sydney. Sydney, I think really, to be honest, I feel like Sydney has issues up there, and she needs to like go for like, you know, serious major therapy and counseling, because I don't think she's okay. New scenario, the couple of the girls are, you know, sitting down and chatting. Nally, Jayla, and who else did we have there? Rolly and Slim. So basically, they were just recapping the events, the previous events, right? And obviously, Sydney again popped up as a topic. So apparently, you know, Nally made a couple clarifications. Because, you know, the girls like were asking Nally why she even felt the need to like have a conversation with Sydney, for one, to even start with, rather. So like, you know, Nally was like, you know, that the reason why she came down was because Sydney had literally blocked the bus. Like, she had gone to stand in front of the bus, so obviously the bus couldn't move forward and they couldn't reverse as well, because they had like some cars behind them. So like, and you know, and at that point even Sydney kept calling out to Nally's name, like, you know, Nally, like she has always been doing. So like, you know, Nally didn't have a choice but to like go down and, you know, try to like move her out of, you know, the front of the bus, right? And that was when that whole thing happened with her, Persuasion, and yeah. So like, you know, she also clarified that, you know, at this point, obviously, people will be feeling like, you know, that Zeus is probably paying Sydney to show up at their events, probably to like, you know, spice the whole show up or something. But like, you know, Nally clarified, because obviously she had been asked by one of her close friends if probably the franchise had been or was paying Sydney to do that. And she basically clarified that none of that was what it was, that Zeus had nothing to do with Sydney, right? That Sydney was just really vexed at the fact that she really wanted to be in that season. So apparently, if you watched this episode, Sydney kept going on about, I spent a couple hours with you, a long hours on the phone with you, about this season and all of that. You were my friend, blah, blah, blah. So basically, Natalie was like, that, yes, they definitely spent like long hours on the phone. But like, the conversation was that is Natalie, telling her that Sydney, that she can't be on season 2, right? And so I'm like, so you were even told then, and you're still here making all these ruckus, Sydney. Like, what's your problem though? But yeah, like, she basically just clarified that, and she was like, I think it was at this point the girls even mentioned that Sydney had been posting pictures of the baddies with captions like, I see the boss with and airy music in the background. I'm like, honestly, this goes a long way to like really confirm what I'm saying and what I feel like all of you are also thinking, which is that Sydney really is not okay. Because at this point, this is not even, or like, this is abnormal, to be honest. Like, this is really abnormal. Like, this is seriously abnormal, to be honest. So like, those were the clarifications made. I'm glad she clarified that, because me, at some point, I even started feeling like probably, it was part of the Zeus. It was, obviously, we know that, yeah, this is reality TV, but let's be honest, there are some parts of it that are kind of scripted. At some point, scripts come into play. Let's just be honest, right? So like, I felt like, this whole thing was like orchestrated by Zeus, maybe to like add some kind of spice to the show. And if you ask me, that spice was not even spice. That was so freaking irritating and annoying. But yeah, Natalie came out and clarified that, and I feel like that was really, really needed, because I myself even started like questioning, Zeus on that. Like, I started having my doubts as to, Sydney just popping up on her own accord. Like, probably it was, part of the whole show. But yeah, that was clear. So can we talk about Anne being quiet all through the conversation that was being had on Sydney? So we already know that Anne is usually the loudest in the room, but for some reason she was very quiet throughout this conversation. Like, she didn't even say a single thing. When I say conversation, obviously is the conversation that had to do with Sydney showing up at Anthony's bash. Now, Anne didn't say a single thing. That lets me wondering and a little bit suspicious of her, because if you remember in the previous episode, she said that Sydney had kind of reached out to her, like trying to bribe her to release their location. So like, now I'm like, because I mean, I wouldn't be having these suspicions if Anne had always been this quiet. But for the fact that all of a sudden, because even when she had, after the whole fight with Rolly, yes, she still always had something to say, at least in the conversations. Let me not even say some of the conversations. But for this particular conversation, Anne was a little bit too quiet. She was just too quiet. And that obviously drew a lot of suspicion from my end. I was like, okay. So like, you know what? Since I don't know what was probably going through her head, and I don't know what might have probably happened behind closed doors, I'm just gonna leave it at this, right? Let me leave it at my suspicion, right? Let me leave it at, it's just a suspicion, and hope that she doesn't have any kind of affiliation with Sydney. So obviously Swa was about to celebrate at her club, Area 29 in Houston, and obviously I had invited all the girls over. But Jayla excused herself from the whole, partying. According to her, she said she was too tired and she needed to like rest and all. And I'm not too surprised, because I mean, if you've been following my videos, we already know that Jayla and Anne don't really like Persuasion, and that was even why I think this was one of the reasons why when Jayla had that breakdown in the previous episode, when she was saging, or after she saged Persuasion and started crying, I was like, bro, that was hella fake, right? So now, I'm like, I know Jayla to be like a party, like, I mean, all the girls are like party ladies. Like, what's the excuse though? I mean, this is not like the first episode where, they finish from one event and then, go to another event very much later at night. But for this particular episode, Jayla, decided to remove herself from the whole thing, saying that she was too tired and she needed to rest. And I was like, okay, why don't you just tell us that, okay, you can't hang out with this person, or you can't hang out, or you can't come out with the girls because the person that's hosting or the person that's doing the invite is someone you don't with. Like, that's understandable. We're not gonna crucify you. So this next scene, which is like second to last scene for this episode, has Scotty and Bree basically recapping the events that happened previously, and they are joined briefly by Sway or Swa Persuasion, obviously. And it's at this very scene that Persuasion gets the opportunity to explain her anger towards Sydney and why she had to like jump Sydney the previous, or I think it was the same day. So yeah, according to Persuasion, she basically said that that at Calendar's Club, which was like the first place Sydney showed up, she had like come over to like their section, and that point in time when she had come over to their section, she like kind of had this kind of mini argument with Rolly, and she threw a glass of wine at Rolly. Now apparently this Rolly kind of dodged it, and it's ended up falling on Persuasion, and Persuasion has at that instant tried to attack Sydney because of that, but ended up sleeping, right? So like she said that was already like something she was still mad about, and then coupled with the fact that she loves Gotha. According to Persuasion, Gotha is someone that she really really adores, as she has been like a huge fan of Gotha, and like they go way back. So like she didn't appreciate the fact that what's her name, Sydney came and just stole that moment from him. So like basically those were like the two things that really riled her up, right? And that was why she ended up jumping Sydney. Well, girl, Persuasion, you didn't even have to explain this much, because I'm telling you, Sydney Star deserved everything she got, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, in fact, every one of you girls had every right to be mad at Sydney, because no person in their normal senses go about stalking people, embarrassing them, harassing them, all for what? All because you were not given the opportunity to be in the second season. Like, I feel like, obviously, with or without the explanation Persuasion gave, she had every right to be mad. So it's the last scene for this episode, which is Area 29. Obviously, the ladies went to a strip club by name Area 29 in Houston, and of course, the ladies, aside from Jayla and Ann didn't step out, right? According to reasons best known to them. According to Jayla, she said she was tired. I don't know, whatever reason, whatever excuse Ann gave. Now we all, like I mentioned already, and like you already know, these are the same two girls that obviously don't f with the person that is inviting the ladies out. So like they might say that this is the reason why they didn't come out, but we already know exactly why they didn't come out, so that's fine. So like the girls went out. Now can we talk about in backstage, Persuasion is getting ready for the whole event, and she was so excited, talking out and all. It seemed like she was talking to the rest of the other girls, like the other strippers who were also getting ready, but like I noticed that these girls were not even like paying any attention to her. Like, it seemed like she was the only bubbly energy in the room. Like, the rest of them girls, in fact, I think even neglected her, because like she was talking, she was like literally talking to them, like facing them, like talking to them, letting them know how much she missed them. But like all I could see were backs turned on her. They were still doing whatever they were doing. I was like, is it me, or is just maybe I don't know. But like, guys, I'm sure someone saw that as well. I was trying to understand, like, okay, what's happening? Like, you know, for someone that you haven't seen in a very long time, who comes back to like, you know, participate and, you know, do what a show or, you know, whatever, you know, hang out with you guys. Like, there's supposed to be some level of excitement. You guys should be hugging, talking, you know, gisting about things and, you know, what she missed and all of that, changes made so far. But like, there was none of that. Like, all I could see were ladies very much interested in, you know, getting themselves ready for the night and, you know, neglecting Persuasion in her corner. So I was like, Persuasion, are you sure these are girls that you really with, or girls that, you know, are you sure these are your home girls according to you? Because this set of girls seem like they don't even like the fact that you're there. So like, you know, that's something I noticed. And you know, it was really awkward seeing Persuasion talk, you know, in excitement, and you know, really narrate how much she misses, or she missed the other set of girls, but not getting any kind of attention and, you know, response back. I was like, poor Persuasion. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about that.
Last person thinking about is myself.